Good morning, everybody. I swear I have all the buttons operational this morning. No strange voices. This is Ann Eubank sitting in for Scott Beason again, and Lord knows that this is the hardest job. I don't know how he does it 5 days a week. It is hard. So y'all need to appreciate how easy he makes it sound, because it's not. So after yesterday being so deep and then last night I had a group that I meet with occasionally who like to keep up with what's going on in the crazy world, and they're called The Gathering. I love the people. They're, all my age. We are the last generation that understands freedom totally. So, I had to go back into the deep stuff, and I didn't get home until late. So today I am going to have a free-for-all Friday. If you want to call in, I don't care what subject you want to talk about. I'm right. If you want to talk about puppies, I got it. So our number here is 1-800-289-9228, so you can call in. But I realized last night, Sky, that tomorrow I have to go to Boaz to do Decoration Day.
Decoration
Clean
Day?
up, because Mother's Day is Sunday.
Decoration Day, that's what became Memorial Day, I believe. Isn't that correct?
No.
Or is this a different kind of Decoration Day?
Decoration Day in my part of the world, which is up in Boaz, Albertville, is when you go clean off the ancestors' graves, and you put flowers on your grandmother and your great-grandmother and in my case, great-great-grandmother, and maybe a couple of more greats, because they're all buried up there together in Bethsaida.
Okay.
So every year on the Saturday before Mother's Day, all the gatherings, we go up, clean up the cemetery, put flowers out for our ancestors, and then the next day at church they had dinner on the grounds. It's not like what my dinner on the grounds used to be growing up. You remember back in those days? I don't know, Sky, did you do dinner on the grounds?
No, I don't think so. I grew up all over the place, and never had time for to letting traditions take hold, I suppose.
Okay, well, back in the old days, I'm old as dirt, they used to bring out the wooden tables, and all the great cooks up there would bring food, set it out on the tables. The kids would run around. They would make homemade ice cream with the churns. Little kids would sit on the top with the ice. Watermelon, food forever. Nowadays, they have it inside.
Still, I hate I missed out on that.
But back in my day, it was outside. So, but unless I spend the night up there tomorrow night, I won't be there because it's a pretty good drive. But most of my relatives, other than my third and fourth cousins, are all gone anyway.
So that's Saturday.
That's Saturday.
And then on Sunday, we have kind of a big day.
So what are you going? What are you going to be doing? You going to take it easy
for Mother's Day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all out of mothers, so I don't know. We'll probably. But my wife is a mother.
Yes.
So I expect the kids will have something for her.
Oh, good.
We'll get down there with them, and hopefully she'll have a nice day. She deserves one.
I haven't decided when I'm going to cook for myself on Mother's Day, because used to the girls would do it or Jimmy would do it. But, Jimmy's not, I can't let him do that. And Wendy is not much of a cook, so either.
So are you the cook?
I'm the cook.
What about you?
I am the cook, or they can bring in Olive Garden, which is my favorite.
Oh, okay.
To be brought home. So we'll see what happens Sunday. But I got my Mother's Day present yesterday delivered.
Wait, they're not gonna make you cook on Mother's Day, are they?
Well, probably not. They'll probably bring in something, but But my Mother's Day present was delivered yesterday. I got two above ground planters, decorative planters, 4 feet by 2, I think, 4 by 2, box on the bottom, and then this decorative backdrop that something can climb on. I got 2 of them, so I'm real excited. That's what I use to put my cucumbers and my onions in. Well, not my onions because they don't climb, but cucumber.
Well, hopefully not. Anyway.
I don't know. My onions.
I was going to say, how do you get that to?
They have gotten really tall. The stalks are real tall, and they've got the little flowers on the end. I looked at them for the 10 minutes I was home yesterday and said, I need to cut those off because those are seeds, and if you drop them, they'll grow something. So I don't know what I'm going to put in the second one. I know that my cucumbers are going in one to let them climb.
I'm a big Vidalia onion.
Yeah.
Aficionado. So I see it all the time in the stores, that Vidalia onions, and then you get them home and they're not.
No, they're
not even close. So can you officially grow those anywhere but Vidalia, or how does that
You
work?
can grow a Vidalia from a seed, but without the Georgia dirt.
It's not official.
It just doesn't.
Doesn't taste the same.
No.
Okay.
You got to have that Georgia dirt, and that's really funny. I've learned that the hard way. I never knew that back in the old days when I used to garden with my grandmother. Dirt makes the taste because Sand Mountain is where I'm from. Tomatoes don't taste like my tomatoes because I don't have Sand Mountain dirt.
Well, I always wondered about that. It's like the French region of Champagne. That's the only official Champagne, but there's better Champagne that's the grapes are grown in other regions. But the Vidalia thing.
Yeah, you just got to go to Georgia to get them.
Okay, well.
Sorry.
For
them to taste like what you know as a Vidalia.
Oh, man, we used to stop. You go down to the beach and have the roadside stands. And I remember one time I was dating this girl, and of course we'd always stop. The boiled peanuts and tomatoes and everything. Got to stop. And
I don't like
she took. Let's see. We stopped at the roadside stand and got loaded up, and then she wanted to stop at the what did they call it back then? Magic Mart or something. Got a loaf of bread, some mayonnaise, and made an onion sandwich right there in the car. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And I said, you know what? This girl has potential.
Okay, if you want to add a couple of tomatoes, maybe.
That's romantic to me. Okay.
An onion sandwich is romantic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's down home. That's Southern.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine that. Oh, now the mayonnaise, tomato, and then throw a couple of slices of onion. I could do that. I could do that. But my favorite is just the plain old tomato sandwich.
Yeah.
So when I go up tomorrow, I'm gonna get some Sand Mountain tomatoes if they're out yet. It's still a little bit early.
Yeah, tomato sandwich.
Yeah,
that's Southern.
That's
down home.
That's right.
We used to grow our own. It's so hard to get vine ripe tomatoes.
Yeah, it is.
They say they are, but it's
you can tell the difference.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I do miss that. We used to really light it up with the garden every year, but had to take a couple of years off here lately.
I have.
Maybe you can send me some, man.
Okay, I'll find you some.
Okay, I'm counting on you now.
I have 2 rows of peas that have not come up yet. I went out, like I said, for about the 10 minutes I was home yesterday, and I can see them just breaking the ground. The other 2 rows are already 8 inches tall. So I'm like, okay, well, I use the same seeds and I've got the same dirt. I'm not real sure what's going on here. So
it's a mystery.
It's a mystery. So
gardening is tough.
It is.
I do know that. I can't imagine farming. Doing it. Gardening. That's a hobby. That's fun.
Yeah. Right.
And if things go wrong, well, you're not out that much. But people that farm.
Yeah.
For a living, have I don't know how they make it, but I have the utmost respect
with
for,
this climate spraying stuff that they're doing, putting stuff on the ground that will stop the growth of vegetables.
Yeah, things aren't tough enough.
No, yeah, and it's really destroying it. So I have, you don't play music anymore, so
It's hard to tell, isn't
it's
it?
hard
Yeah.
to tell, and
I blame that YouTube streaming thing.
I'm
but,
sorry. I'm watching you. So Sky is telling me it's time to take a break. But if you want to call in, hey, we're just going to be talking all day long. So this is Ann sitting in for Scott, and we'll be back in a few. Welcome back. We are. I just got a phone call from Scott. Merritt won. The Merritt's team won in Dallas. They went to 5 sets. They won the last set by 2 points that Merritt scored. So yay! So
All right.
that's a great
So
thing. And
They have another game tonight.
yeah,
correct?
they have another
Okay.
game tonight. They'll be in the championship. So I just got a message from my friend Teresa, who lives in Gunnersville. She said, after I finish at the cemetery tomorrow, come to our Republican Women Rally at Gunnersville Town Hall. It starts at 2:30. Would love to see you. Have a great show today. We'll send the ad so I know where to go tomorrow. And I'm going to go do that. Teresa, I'll
right.
see you tomorrow. That means I'll have to carry extra clothes, but, that's what happens. But I'll be finished by then because I have to be there at 9 o'clock. And, from used to, I lived in Trussville. It was only like a 45-minute drive to Boaz. Now that I live in Hoover, you can add a whole lot more time to go to Boaz. So I have to get up early in the morning and drive up there because I have to be there at 9. So I'll be finished, Teresa. I'll be there. Sounds good.
right.
So, well, I'm really excited about Merritt. I know she's working hard out there in Dallas. So this morning, Sky, when I was, I've been meaning to talk about this. When I get on at Alford, I live right off of Alford in Bluff Park, and I used to get off at UAB to come to the studio, but the traffic through UAB was so bad. I said there's got to be an easier way. So I wasn't born here, but I was raised here in Birmingham. I went down to 3rd Avenue, which is a one-way coming into town.
I'm familiar with 3rd Avenue.
Yeah. And
Oh, yeah.
it's a whole lot faster. Flip up to 20 whatever and hang a right and you're here. So I was looking at the buildings in downtown Birmingham, and I am saddened by some of them that I remember, like the Lovemans building, which is now the McWayne Center. But there are a lot of buildings being refurbished in Birmingham right now. Have you noticed that?
Well, I don't get up there that often anymore, but that's better than the alternative of just letting them decay and crumble.
Yeah.
Like some cities, some blue cities that I'm familiar with.
So lots
What
of.
are they repurposing a lot of medical, I imagine, in that area? I
Well,
suppose.
not necessarily medical. What I'm seeing is law firms, a lot of condo-looking things. The in the old buildings. I was, the Bon-Ton where they used to make the hats right there on 20th Street. That building is just falling apart, and I don't know who owns it now. But that building was icon. It's an icon in Birmingham. I don't know why somebody doesn't take it and redo it. The architectural details on those buildings here, Morse Avenue has been redone. It looks fantastic. They even left the cobblestones, which
Nice.
is the reason I go around.
They're fun to look at, but not so much to drive on.
That's not good. The Armor, the Red Diamond Tea Company right there on First Avenue looks like it's been redone. I'm just glad to see Birmingham coming back. I would not want to live downtown Birmingham, but the parts that they're redoing, I'm glad to see it. So we have a call.
Yeah, Charles the First.
Oh, Charles the First. Okay, come on.
Tell us about Boaz a little bit.
Charles the First, don't tell me you're from Boaz.
I live 45 minutes from Boaz. I live 22 miles from Gunnersville, and I'm exactly aerially, like if you didn't have a road, 15 miles from Redstone Arsenal. The river's there.
Right.
So I'm that close. And not only that, I wanted to tell you about decoration. My decoration is always the first Monday of May, and I am the oldest of my, part of the family. Like you were talking about the cousins, I'm the youngest of all the cousins, with no one else older than me. If that makes sense to you, right?
That's
there.
right. That's right.
Yeah, and we have the whole, everybody comes, and I went and decorated my family, which, remember, there's only my brother and sister younger than me, because my father was the enforcement director of the alcohol beverage control, and flew the state plane and helicopter in the 80s.
Wow.
And did you know that?
No, I think Scott had said something about your dad working.
Yeah, they were, and he had destroyed a field of marijuana in the helicopter, and had a sergeant with him, and they were flying back toward Laverne, out Brantley, Alabama, and there were these. Somebody had planted some marijuana, and they'd been watching it to see if the guys ever come to check their plants. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the sure enough, they saw them. So they landed the helicopter by this abandoned sawmill, and instructed, the sergeant got out and said, "Freeze, stop, halt." And the one guy, put his hands up, and the other one went running through the woods, and Daddy took off in the helicopter, because he'd already been with the ABC 20 years, and it got kind of big around the belly, and would be better for him to fly to see where he went.
Right.
And there's them big power lines that didn't have the orange balls on them. And he hit them. And not only that, my brother was a policeman and got there and run, because he wasn't that far away, young policeman, and they had to hold him back because nobody could touch that helicopter because it still had the power lines to it grounded.
Yeah.
And my brother just had to watch him.
I'm sorry.
And part of the reason yes, ma'am, I know, and it's been a long time. It'll be 35 or 6 years this May the 30th, and my family though got done really bad by Guy Hunt's administration, the legislature, and a person that was had to do with the university, and so. Me getting on here talking about when they do something wrong, it's from my heart. Right. When I see them doing something wrong. The attorney that I got down there, he turned out to be, I didn't know anything about politics being that young, and it was Walking Wendell Mitchell from Montgomery.
Remember him?
And he sold, he was supposed to represent me and my brothers and sisters, and he was the person that sold land as part of being a senator to different people, and he didn't get credit life insurance on my dad. And the other lawyer said, "We're going to turn you in, and you won't be a senator if you don't sign away those kids' rights." And he did, and it was only years later that I found out. So
I am so sorry.
Yeah,
I am so
well,
sorry.
but it does give everyone a backdrop that I'm not just doing something to hear myself. I'm doing it because when they do wrong things, it can be detrimental to a level that they are not thinking about when they just want to make profit for themselves.
Okay, hold on, Charles. We got a break, and I'm going to hold you over. So, this is Ann, and for Alabama Unfiltered, sitting in for Scott today, and we'll be back in a minute. Welcome back. This is Ann on Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and we're talking about Decoration Day, which is kind of a lost custom. I think after my generation and maybe my daughter's generation, that it won't be happening anymore.
A little background, real quick. Decoration Day was, I checked my facts, Ann,
Okay,
and it was created in the South right after the Civil War ended.
right.
And it was when you would go out and clean, mark, decorate the graves of the fallen Confederate soldiers.
Well,
And it was
there
not
you go.
it was not a specific. It's where Memorial Day came from.
Yeah.
Eventually, of course, the North realized what we were doing, and they always had Memorial Day on May 30th. But in the South, it could be different days. Sometimes it was Lee's birthday, Jackson's birthday, etc. But generally, late April to mid-May. So apparently, y'all have carried on the name of Decoration Day to go out and take care of your ancestors.
Well,
grave
most
sites.
of them, yeah, we have Confederate soldiers buried in our ancestral cemetery. So, I just include everybody else. My grandmother had 8 brothers and sisters, and my grandfather had 11. So I'm busy.
Okay,
on
so
that
you have
day.
carried on the fine tradition
I
of decoration. That's wonderful. I think it's
have.
great.
And my daughter, my youngest daughter, will go because she's kind of filial. Where my oldest daughter just, she doesn't care about that kind of stuff. So I think after my generation, it may very well become lost in some areas. Who knows? I hope not, because it's respecting where you came from.
Indeed.
And so, but Charles, are you there?
I am, and I went across. I went across to my graveyard, so I'm standing in the graveyard, and there's not a single grave, and there's probably 200 or 300 of them that doesn't have a flower on it, at least a flower. And I'm standing at the oldest person born, 1834.
Wow.
Mary Ann Dyer. Yeah, Mary Ann Dyer, born in 1834 and died in 1913. Yep, I think that's my
Well,
oldest grave.
back up there, they all live long because good farming stock. My grandmother was 99 on my mother's side. My grandmother on my father's side had just turned 100. My grandfather was like 94. I mean, they all lived forever.
Well, and let me tell you about my Uncle Haiti. My Uncle Haiti lived to be the oldest of all the boys, and all the Woodall men, except for the ones that died in accidents like my father, lived to be close to 100 or so. Now, guess what? When you asked him, he said that he made him live so long. Now, I want you to understand, he started smoking a pack of Pale Male non-filters at the age of 13.
Oh, my gosh. I
And
hadn't heard those words in forever.
Yes, still smoked them until the day he died. And when I asked him, I said, Uncle Haiti, why did you think you've lived so long? He said, well, when I got in my 50s, he said, I started noticing people would go to the hospital for a little bit of some nothing and get staphylococcus and staphylococcus and die from the operations and stuff, more so than anything in the community killing anybody. He said they was dying because of what happened at the hospital. He said, so I just made up my mind I wasn't going to a hospital or doctor for all that I could keep from it because everybody was dying that did.
I tell you
And
what,
he lived to be older than any of them.
I have the same attitude. They have to drag me to the doctor. But I'm one of those lucky people who are very seldom sick. And I really think it's because of I'm kind of like my grandmother, and genetically wise, I'm built like her and I look like her. And so, and I act like her. And I really think genetics has a lot to do with it, but staying out of the doctor's office may very well have a whole lot more to do with it. I totally agree.
And I kind of took that up myself. I don't hardly ever get sick in any kind of way, and you would have to drag me to the doctor. Now, I had a terrible car accident, and I had to be, and they took real good care of me, and I appreciate all that. But as far as I'm concerned, my whole thing is you wouldn't even have to have all this medical. I think a whole lot of it is a worry about something happening to you to pay this insurance. I noticed that when my grandma died, she had gave all this money every month for stuff that wound up she never got it, she never had it, but they took her income for this insurance.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean?
I do.
And I was like, this is kind of like ridiculous here. This money could have been something that helped her every month, but for some obscure, you know, those insurance men, I know you're going to remember it, they'd come peddling with their briefcase
Mm-hmm.
and to your area, and there you would be. You'd want to help them. Oh, they're a family man, and they're trying out. So you'd give them your $2 or $3 a month, thinking you're helping them, but nothing ever become of whatever it was except your money got gone.
Right.
I mean,
well,
yeah.
I'm going tomorrow, so
anyway,
Charles. So exactly what oh, well, you don't want to tell me. Never mind. So you're not far from where I'm going to be. So, but
no, I'm 23 miles from where you're going to be.
Okay.
Except as part of what I do. You remember how you were saying that you met the cousins and you saw them at the dinners where they.
Right.
Well, my same ones that age. They're my daddy's first cousin that went to high school with him. Daddy was the captain of the basketball team. They won the state championship in 1957. She has mild Alzheimer's, and I sit with her. So it may be that I'm, and mainly from meeting them back then at church. That's the only time I ever saw them.
Yeah.
That they've asked me to come sit with her, you know.
Wow.
So, because the boys take turns doing it. Her husband just passed away.
Wow.
But that is a big. My daddy really believed in community.
Yeah.
And that the strength
Back in
of
those
the community,
days. Yeah.
and that, you know, he was just very adamant. He was also adamant about making sure that when it came time to vote, everybody in the family voted, and any elderly person that didn't have a ride to the to vote, you helped to get them to the voting place.
Well, it's too bad we don't do that today. We need more community, and with all this stuff that's being released, we may very well get to be communities again. So great call, Charles.
Well, and I want to thank you and Scott and all the producers on radio stations that let me get on here and tell how I'm feeling. That really means a lot because they never gave my father an award. They didn't name a road after him, and he was the highest-ranking law enforcement official because he would have been. If he was on a scene, he would have been over a sheriff because he was the enforcement director. Nothing ever done, and there's never a bad thing to his name, man. It's just very discerning to me. You know what I mean?
I do. I do.
But this kind of makes up for it when you guys let me tell, you know, the things I'm upset about that our legislators and persons are doing.
Well, we appreciate you calling in because
and,
you always contribute something worth listening to. So great call, Charles, and we'll talk again
Have
next
a good day,
week.
everyone.
Okay, bye-bye.
Happy Decoration Day, everyone! Because I was not aware that this continued. I think it's wonderful what y'all are doing up there in Boaz.
Up there in Boaz,
wherever that is.
Boaz is between Gadsden and Gunnersville.
Okay, now I have
up the mountain.
A bit of a clue there.
I mean, it's called Sand Mountain for a reason because it is a mountain.
Now I've heard about Sand Mountain.
Big mountain. So.
Boaz. Not so much.
Not so much.
No, I know. I've learned a lot this morning.
Yeah.
So
well, after, you know, I see where the Pentagon has released some UFO, UAP papers. Not sure what's going to be in them, but you can go look at them if you want to.
Some blurry pictures.
Blurry. I saw it. I'm like, you know, it was so funny. And I know we got to go to another break, but last night, that's all those people wanted to talk about after I got through with talking about the ballot, the voting, who's running, whose campaign, and who to vote for, and, you know, who the conservative coalition, blah, 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 is the UAPs and the UFOs and all that stuff. So
don't get too excited about the photos. They're a little disappointing.
Well, I've seen better photos that the public's taken, so I'm not sure what camera the Pentagon's been using. I tell you what, it's going to buckle up, Buttercup, because it's going to be fun. So we got to go to another commercial because, as Scott says, we have to pay the bills.
That's right.
So this is Ann sitting in for Scott. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back from break, everybody. I just mentioned that some of the UFO papers have been released, and Pete Hegseth came out and said, "Oh, the Pentagon is going to release these papers, and they're going to do it as a rolling release, kind of like they did the Epstein files." So I don't know. You can go to war.gov/UFO, and if you want to go look at them, I guess I can do that when I get home. But I'm not really that interested, to tell you the truth.
Did you see J.D. Vance's quote about the UFO files and Area 51 and everything?
What did he say?
J.D. Vance,
I missed
says he is obsessed with the UFO files, and Vance goes on to say he believes what most call alien sightings are actually glimpses of demonic figures.
Yes, and he may very well be right.
I was wondering what you thought about that.
Well, you know, we've done a whole deep dive on that. You know, Scott uses the word Nephilim. And being a, I don't want to say a scholar or what, of Jonathan Cahn when he wrote his book Return of the Gods. And
oh yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Read that one myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's right over here. I don't know that Scott ever. You know, Scott has problems. He has lots of books to read.
And emails.
Yeah, and
text.
emails. Well, you know, I wake up every morning to 1,000 emails, anywhere from 750 to 1,000 emails. So it takes me a while to get through them. But yeah, I don't believe in alien beings from another planet. I believe interdimensionalism and demons and Nephilim, and it is, what is it that Clark says? There's so many of us that are them, and I really think it's us as them. And, you know, the whole quantum thing where you can travel, where the future comes back.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the future comes back to the present or the past, because there's just too much evidence of people from the future coming back. And they don't look particularly like us because of environmental factors, disease. I mean, I don't know why. I just know that I don't believe we have aliens that are going to invade us.
What would be their purpose to come back to our time, do you suppose?
Well, you have two purposes, and you can choose one or the other. One is to conquer, and the other is to keep us from destroying ourselves.
Okay, so let's get into the paradox here. It's just while we have a couple of minutes.
Okay.
If future beings did return to our present, if you will, or our past, and altered our reality, would we know it?
Okay.
Drop that on you in 2 minutes.
No.
Okay.
I actually, this is something I was not going to talk about because it is so way back, and it kind of started in the 50s where they started reverse engineering all of the things that had come back from the future or that was given to us by evil beings. And that's the way I can put that. I'm just not sure how any other way I could put it. They developed a process, and this is what I asked Charles yesterday. They developed a process of controlling what goes on in time and who gets elected and what happens to start wars and who wins wars. And somewhere around Trump, Clinton, the two time continuums joined and intersected, and they could no longer control. So it went into hyperdrive.
Woo, man. Wow. I think we've got a screenplay to write.
Yes.
Based on that. Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
So I did not want to talk about it. And that's why Hillary Clinton, the evil person that she may very well be one of them, was so angry, is because it was not supposed to happen. It was not supposed to happen until 2030.
I remember her quote, if you don't fix this expletive, we're all going to hang.
Yes.
When Trump started taking off in the polls.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, because they could no longer control.
Yeah, things were becoming out of control.
Out of control.
And they did.
Yes.
And they panicked. Well, you can back it up. We got to go. But all the COVID, all the mail-in ballots, all the desperation.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Listen,
Let's look this up.
Yeah, we will continue this when we get back. We got to take a break. Welcome back again. We're just getting deep again. Uh, uh,
All right.
Bible prophecy is I don't know. I have a new guy that I'm listening to. His name is Larry Ragland. He preaches at the Solid Rock Church in Pinson, Alabama. And y'all know I used to live in Pinson a long time ago, which is right next to Trussville and Charleville. And he wrote a book, and I watched his video that he did. It's called The Final Flood, which really goes through all this stuff that everybody's talking about, that how things are going to ramp up. And once they realize that they're the bad guys, the evil ones, the Nephilim, the let's see, what is the new word for them? Unidentified anomalous phenomenon.
That's a mouthful.
A UFO. Yeah, UAP. And once they realize their time is coming to an end, that they will ramp it up, and that is exactly what's happening. And that we, the Christians, and I'm going to, there is no stretch of the imagination that I can claim I'm a Bible scholar, because I'm woefully ignorant of the Bible. Yes, I read it, but do I spend hours researching and trying to understand all the words, what each word means in the Bible? I was raised by my grandmother, who was a saint, when I was young, and I've always given her credit for what I have in my faith. So this guy wrote this book because he's telling people of the Christian faith, y'all need to get it together and do not be deceived, because it's coming. And when it comes, this is what you need to understand that's happening. So by releasing the UFO papers, they're trying to get us acclimated to the fact that, hey, maybe Jesus was an alien. And that's their end game, is to destroy the faith of the Christians in what is actually written in the Bible. So that's their end game. Well, you just got to pay attention. You can't.
Okay, the motive makes perfect sense.
Yep. So who knows what happens? I'm just like, my 2 words, dominoes and prepare.
Mm-hmm.
And be prepared and do not be deceived. But yeah,
This is all very interesting to
I
me.
know. I'm sorry.
No, I don't apologize. It's Friday, and
Yes.
actually, my old program, Late Night Underground, was based on this whole concept.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So what do you think's going to happen? What's going on?
Well, first of all, you got to know me. So what how am I going to get? I'm never going to get serious about anything, because I know all this is.
I'm not serious.
I don't have to understand, but Late Night Underground was based on the concept of the Late Night Underground were a group of time-traveling aliens, and they secretly guided Earth's history. Okay?
Yeah, I agree with the time travel, but I don't agree with the alien.
Oh, no, this is not for real. This is a
This is-
satirical.
this
and
is-
it turned, but they were a bunch of goofballs, and they kept screwing everything up. They were like the gang that couldn't shoot straight, and they would go back and try to intervene in Earth's history and botch it over and over again. Okay.
Got it.
And they call and the actual the soldiers were called the agents of fortune.
Ah.
And
Did
they
you
would
write
get
the
out-
book?
Yeah. Well, I wrote a short story.
Okay.
And like often do, because I can't finish anything, because everything has to be perfect, Ann. And I can never make. So I've got all these unfinished. I put it up on Yahoo when blogs were popular,
Yeah.
and I never could get much traction on anything I ever wrote, and it took off. This whole
Oh.
story, and it became a whole thing, and became a radio program, 3-hour show, and it was all just a bunch of made up comedy. I never knew there was really anything to this, So it's very strange to me that now, 20 years later, 25 years later, all this is coming out. I was prophetic.
Yeah,
It
you
turns
were.
out,
You
except
were.
for, and I may be right about the Keystone Cops aspect of the returning time travelers, because you got to admit, Earth is pretty screwed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
They haven't done a
So,
very good job of straightening it out. If
I
that's
think
what,
I'm
if
gonna
that's
pick.
what their
I'm gonna pick.
plan was.
I'm gonna pick up my late night underground and
Yeah.
maybe add another chapter
I think you should.
soon. I may have to consult with you on that.
I
However,
you know, quantum physics and all that stuff. Hey, have y'all heard anything about the scientists lately? Missing scientists? They have stopped talking about it. Wonder when they're going to reappear. Okay? Okay, y'all heard it first. How long is
I'm
it going to
sorry.
take for those scientists to reappear, including the Chinese? They got 9 Chinese scientists. So nobody. I mean, it's just like nobody talks about it anymore.
yeah,
Wonder
that
why.
died out pretty quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about chapter 6 off the air. Though.
Okay,
I just got a real chuckle out of that. I just remembered.
I mean,
I've been following the story of the scientist, and
He's gone.
strange.
Yeah. Wonder what the government had to say.
Apparently, they had to say hush.
Hush. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And then
as they
start
often
releasing
do.
the papers. Of course, Barack Obama came out and said this can't be true because the government can't keep a secret like that. Has he ever heard of MK Ultra, DARPA? I mean, I could just go down the list of programs since 1950 that we knew nothing about and nobody talked. So Obama, well, of course, we know everything comes out of his mouth as a lie.
Well, if it all turns out to be true, I believe Obama's like alien boss man.
He's one of the lizard people.
Yeah,
Is he
him
one of
and
the
Pelosi
lizard?
are definitely.
He's one of the
Definitely.
lizard people.
They were like the first ones off the ship. Okay, I believe that at least.
Did you see that? I'm sorry. I have no fear. I am not in any kind of anxiety about what the government is doing to us right now. What I have is facts and an understanding of what they are attempting to do. I have more fear of the UN and the globalist than
The
I
New
do
World
of,
Order
yeah, the New World Order.
and the World Health Organization. I
Oh,
imagine.
goodness.
Their
the new,
arm of science.
right. The new hantavirus. Y'all know that was a side effect of having COVID and the COVID vaccine?
What's that?
Hantavirus.
Oh, right. Okay.
The hanta, yeah. It's in the paper that you pull out. It's somebody sent it to me. One of my friends, which I can't name on air because she'd have a fit, showed it to me, and I went, well, I knew that, and now they have a new hantavirus vaccine. So
Imagine that.
imagine that. So
Wow, what
it-
timing.
it's
Man.
all connected. All the dots connect, people. We just got to stand up and say no more. And when we, the people, figure it out to know how to say no more, it'll stop. It'll stop. But we got to be
Resist.
brave enough to do it.
Well, we certainly didn't do very well in our trial run during the COVID
Oh, no.
pandemic.
No.
We complied. We went along.
Without
we made
question.
others suffer who refused to comply.
Yeah.
I would say that came out. I always felt like that was an experiment, a dry
Oh, it
run,
was.
if you will.
Bill Gates is the most evil person on earth. Maybe he's a lizard guy.
There you go. There's our third suspect.
There's our third one.
Okay.
Okay.
We're
So-
closing in on it.
All right. We have to take another break. This is Ann sitting in for Scott. We'll be back in just a few. Okay, we're back from break, and oh my gosh, the board is full. So, Sky, who's first?
Donald is on topic. He's got some interesting comments on the alien subject.
Okay.
Donald, welcome in.
Hey,
Hey,
Donald.
good morning. Great show, guys.
Thank you.
Just like to remind everybody that in, I think, John chapter 8:23, Jesus said, I'm not of this world. So what does that make you?
Oh. Makes him Jesus.
He said, you are of this world. I am not of this world.
So here's the question I
think
have.
it all fits together.
Yeah, I do too. But we have to decide if it's the real second coming. And when he's talking about I'm not of this world, was he talking about the fact that he really wasn't human and did not live in what, the I don't know how to put it.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that would make him an alien, but the one that's going to be dropping down in Project Bluebeam may not be the real Jesus. So
That's
we
exactly right.
have to be really careful to know the truth.
I agree.
Okay. Thanks, Donald.
All right.
Now you gave me something
There's
to
something
think
to think
about.
Yeah.
All right. 10-4. Y'all have a good one.
You
Thanks,
too.
Don.
Bye.
Appreciate you.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yes.
All right. Who's up next? So we
Soldier Boy. Is, we're
Soldier
gonna Get off topic
Boy.
a little bit.
That was I had
It was the Shirelles, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And I had a boyfriend in the Army when that song came out. So I often sang it. So are you there,
Good song.
Soldier Boy?
Something you ever got, Ann.
Huh?
Probably something that best loving you ever got was from that Army guy.
I refuse to comment on the grounds it may incriminate me.
Yep. You going to plead the fifth?
Yeah, I'm going to plead the fifth. So what's
Hey,
up
I'm
this
gonna
morning?
say- Well, I'm going to talk around a couple of subjects. First subject is, I remember with this show one time, this guy was doing a documentary, and this lady said that she had been abducted by an alien and probed and everything. And she says, doctor, nobody believes me. He says, I believe you. She says, you do? Finally, somebody believes me. He goes, I believe that you believe it, and that's good enough for me.
There you go.
Because he believed so strongly. He was a psychiatrist, and he says, do you believe I got probed? He goes, no, but I believe that you believe, and that's all that matters. The fact is that you believe it, and I believe that you believe it, and that's all that matters. Another thing is good too. Have you seen the movie with Matthew McConaughey called Interstellar?
I have not. So I'm going to write that one down too. There's
You
a
need to
lot
write
of
it down.
there are a lot of
You need to
movies.
watch it. And Pathaways, and it's a great movie. The movie, the planet is going to be destroyed by another dirt. Remember, we had the problem with the dirt covering the United States, and everything in the food and everything was covered, and everything the dirt desert,
Right.
So he goes into this interstellar, goes through a wormhole, and he finally finds out about time and how things are controlled and how he can see things. It's one of the most interesting movies because at the end, his daughter grows up and he's able to move things, but he's in this complex where time is nothing but layers. So it's called Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey.
I'll have to watch it. I tried to watch the Three Body movie that somebody said I needed to watch, but the
I never watched that
language,
one.
the language was so bad that my ears were just. I'm like, I can't watch this movie. I don't care how good it is. I can't deal with. I mean, I'm not a Pollyanna, but that language, like every other word just got worse and worse and worse.
Diane, you watched, I know, Sky, you watched X-Files, right?
Oh,
Yes, we did.
Do you remember that towards the end of the episode, the world was going crazy because they had found out they were mixed in with hybrid of aliens?
Okay.
I missed that
And
one.
they wondered how they ever got, and this is weird, they were wondering how did they able to spread it, to everybody, And what it was is through smallpox. Back, I guess, in the 50s or 60s, everybody got smallpox shot. And we didn't
Vaccination,
question it, did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And nobody questioned it back then, did they?
No, we didn't know.
So you didn't know really what you were getting juiced up with.
We didn't. Well, at that point, I think most people trusted the government.
Right.
Exactly.
No.
But not now. And you know what's interesting about that is I have medical friends and doctors that don't believe, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of nurses, you have a shortage of nurses right now, especially after the pandemic. And I found out why. Because a lot of these hospitals were trying to force the nurses to take that shot, and they weren't going to take the shot.
Right.
Okay? So they went to work and become traveling nurses, private nurses, and nurses for private practice doctors. They never came back to the hospitals, and that's why when you go to the hospital, I found that out when I was in a hospital. Everybody was what do you call it? It's below a LPN even, like a nurse associate or something.
Yeah.
Or something.
Nurse assistant, I believe.
Yeah. And something they go for 8 weeks to school, and get your blood pressure, know how to draw some blood, and that's about it. They don't know how to do anything.
Right.
But it was so interesting about that. I said, "Where's a nurse?" And she says, "We only have one nurse per floor." I could not believe it. I said, "You got to be kidding me." She goes, "No,
Not kidding.
one nurse per floor."
Yeah. Welcome to
why they have
modern
a shortage.
healthcare.
When my
Well, that's
husband
why they have a shortage of.
yeah, when my husband was
Go ahead.
in the hospital, he was on the floor with 100 patients and 5 nurses.
Yeah.
Yep.
God.
And I sat
And-
there the entire time because he would have died if I had not.
Yeah. That's
And
good
let me ask you
advice.
Sure.
Be there. If
Let
you've
me
got
ask you a
loved
question,
ones,
Ann.
be there as much as you can.
Okay.
Oh, you ain't lying. You ain't lying because it's basically a jail.
Yeah. Yep.
And and it was so funny was, you got to be careful what you say around these people. The people in the hospital are crazy. For example, I was getting stressed out about everything and what had been going on in my life. And I said, sometimes you just feel like you just want to quit. You know what I mean? The game,
Mm.
You know what? You know what happened with them?
Yeah, I bet I
took
do.
that- bet they did, and I couldn't believe that. I had to get a friend of mine who was a lawyer. Yeah, they tried to put me on 48-hour watch, suicide watch.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
you believe that?
Yeah. My granddaughter went through the same
Oh.
thing. She was mad about something and said something, and they wanted to send her to a teenage mental thing. And her dad's a lawyer. Of course, she didn't have to go after he got through with them. But you can't say that anymore. You can't say I'm just fed up or I'm tired of this.
So the next time I went to the emergency room, a year later I had to go to the emergency room. Not the emergency, I had to go. The doctor admitted me, okay, and they were in process of me. I didn't say jack.
Yeah.
Now because I wasn't talking to them, they thought I was. Oh my God! I said,
Soldier
you
Boy, we
say
got
something or don't say.
we got 20 seconds,
go ahead.
Soldier Boy. 20 seconds.
All right, well, that's all I wanted to say. Be careful out there.
Always, always. Man, I tell you what, today is flying by.
Halfway over.
I don't know what's going on, and it's just kind of a whatever comes off the top of my head day.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. Yeah.
Free for all.
I'm tired.
Look like Ted Nugent. All right.
Well, he's fun. All right. Well, hopefully Scott will be back Monday. We'll see if he gets to drive back from Dallas. But this is Ann sitting in for Scott Beason on Alabama Unfiltered Radio. We're going to take a break right now. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, this is Ann back, and we're back from commercial. And I got a response from one of our regular listeners about Donald's comment of, if Jesus is not of this world, who is he? And I thought it was the greatest answer because I'm like, okay, so how do I answer that? But he said, the Almighty exists outside of time. He made time and he will make it end. Therefore, he is extraterrestrial.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. That's about as close as it gets, I guess. So, what were we talking about? I lost my.
we were talking about
the blue. The blue
skies
got me. Yeah.
Right. Well, we've got plenty of time to refocus. Meanwhile, Red Top's been patient.
Okay,
so,
Red Top, I'm gonna talk to you today. So come on.
Everybody, be nice.
Everybody, be nice.
You talk to me every day.
I do.
What's different about today?
Well, I'm not supposed to be here, so I'll talk to you today.
Why aren't you supposed to be there?
Well, my day's Wednesday, and I was here Monday and Thursday and Friday, and my brain is tired. I gotta go home. So I'll let you talk, Red Top. What you got going?
Oh, okay. I don't have tired brain syndrome. My brain works real good. I'm just 5 years younger than you.
Wait. Wait. What did you do yesterday that stretched your brain?
Oh.
That's what I thought. What did you do last night that stretched your brain? I
did artwork and composed music.
Oh, well, that's good. Okay, that can. I talked
I
all day long
yesterday.
And
physics.
Oh, I do
you
that
taught
too.
all day long?
I did all till about 10 o'clock last night.
I see.
And
you talked.
Well, my brain has to tell me what to say. Remember?
Hopefully, yes.
I'm really glad you filled me in on that point. I wondered who was getting me to do all the talking.
Exactly. So,
let me make a point.
Okay.
Some of these discussions you're having this morning is why Catholics do not go by the Bible.
Well, what can I say?
Only the Protestants can turn Jesus into an alien.
Now, I didn't say that. I'm like, okay, if you whatever.
Believe it or not, that's a very old thing. I heard that in the 60s.
Yeah.
And if you're supposed to be able to remember the 60s, right?
I do. I do remember the 60s. Those were
I'm glad to hear that.
That was the best generation ever.
We got to cover that mud.
The music, everything. It was the best time to be. What did you cover up?
I think Red Top is busy working there a little bit.
Red Top, are you working and ignoring me?
Yes. No, I'm not ignoring you. I'm answering a question, and I will. Yes, I'll answer you in a minute. Okay. Now, yes, things have gotten really whacked out here.
Yeah.
Although it's Friday. I want to make some comments about Marco Rubio.
Okay. What do you want to say about Marco?
His performance at the press conference was phenomenal. And because, Caroline Levitt is having a child.
Yes.
Probably already had it, I think.
Yes,
she
had. Yes, she did. She had it.
Boy or girl?
It was a girl.
Okay. That's good. And so, and he had a conference. By the way, NTD News, every morning about 7 o'clock, either has a live news conference from the Defense Department of War. This morning it was Marco Rubio in Rome. And he talked, you saw the crystal football he gave the Pope. And they had a very good meeting. And he said, what you have to realize about the United States and the Catholic churches, we're in cooperation all over the world in hundreds of projects.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more than just that particular isolated incident with Trump and the Pope. But I feel they're pushing Marco for president. pretty heavy right now.
Well,
Don't you think?
yes, either Marco or JD. It's just according to what day it is.
Well, JD is pretty much out of the picture, folks. We don't see him very much. You see Marco, and now Marco's doing the press conferences, which is very rare for Secretary of State to do that.
That's this week.
I've
Red Top.
never seen that before. Have you?
Yeah, wait till next week. You know, that's just. I have a problem getting the picture of Marco Rubio dressed as a Chippendale dancer out of my head.
Where did you find
Wow.
this?
Just go Google it and you can see it.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
But you can't unsee it, so
You can't
ma'am.
be
unsee it.
advised. Yeah.
This is the problem with most of society.
He was
you guys
pretty.
are out Googling and Facebook and
Okay.
doing all this wacky stuff while I am actually composing music and doing artwork. So I feel we need to spend our time more wisely. I hate to see people waste so much time on all that stuff.
That is, listen, I am buried so deep 95% of the time that 5% of the time I'm going to go look at pretty.
Escapism. Yeah.
Okay, and as far as movies, my kind of movie is the Batman movie. It was on last week. The original Batman movie from the 60s.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
the original Batman.
Yes, it was on last Saturday night.
The campy
The whole
Batman.
2-hour version.
Oh man, the Batmobile, the Bat-boat, it had it all.
That had, yes, sir, Batcopter, and Lee
Yeah.
Merriweather as the
Catwoman.
cat lady.
Catwoman. Yeah.
It was really good. We got tough weather this weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Y'all be careful in these
Thanks.
storms because they can get wicked. Roll Tide, go Trump.
Rock on. Yeah, the original Batman.
Yeah, I remember Bam, Boom,
Biff,
Sock 'em.
Socko. Yeah.
I remember that.
Batman.
I'm
Can't
not-
you just see Red Top sitting around watching?
I can.
Watching Batman. Yeah,
I can.
I can
But
too.
yeah, Marco Rubio was in a high school thing that he dressed up like a Chippendale dancer, and the picture's out there.
I bet it is.
I'm sorry.
See, that's the kind of thing you got to put a disclaimer in front of it, because if you see that, now you're stuck with that
I
image.
am
and
stuck
you're
with
burned
it.
into your retina.
And that and the Gang of Eight. I just
Gang of
don't
Eight.
know how he got drug into that. But I will admit he did a fantastic job. But then so does J.D. Vance. So we're going to have two choices, and it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough choice between those two. I don't, yeah, because they're both highly intelligent. Marco's got a little bit more political experience. Not sure if that's good or bad.
Yeah, I think the early money is on Rubio.
Yeah,
Sure,
well,
but
there's
I'll have to
all.
check that.
Yeah, well,
That's a long way to go.
I
anyway.
have friends in Florida. Y'all know
Yeah.
that. So,
What do they say?
I'm not going to go there.
You're not going to
'cause-
reveal that just yet.
We'll wait and see if it comes out. If it doesn't, then it won't come from my mouth, because I think he's become a good guy.
Okay, we'll tease that. For
We'll
later, I
tease that
suppose.
for 2
Okay.
years. 2 years.
It's gonna be a
It's
while
gonna be
before
a
you get to
while.
the primaries.
Yeah.
So.
So, all right. Is it time for another break?
It is. We do have a scheduled break.
How many breaks do we have? I
We
mean,
have 4 segments per hour.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have got to do the commercials. If we don't do them in a scheduled time, they all back up at the end.
And that's not
and
good.
That's not good at all. That's not good
Okay.
radio.
All right. So, hey, we'll be back in a few minutes. We got to do another one. So, this is Ann going out. Welcome to the jungle. That's what I got.
There you go. That's it.
That's it. That's it. So before we go to our next caller, I just want people. I have this whole wardrobe of T-shirts when I go traveling and I do strange things. I pick up a T-shirt that I think is funny. This is the one I got in Israel, and it's an IDF, Israel Defense
Force.
Yes, and it says, "My job is so secret that I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing." So
That's not the official IDF
no,
uniform,
that's not
by
the
way.
official IDF. I do have an official FBI shirt, though. I do have one. You know, those of us who have FBI files do get special perks every now and then. But yeah, I knew
I had a slogan for the back of your IDF shirt.
Okay.
And it ended with, "And all I got was this stupid shirt," but I can't say the front end of the joke because
right.
some people might not like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you don't mess with the IDF. I'm
Right.
sorry. They are the premier. No, we don't mess with them. So I have who's on the line?
That's Debbie wants to discuss data centers.
Oh, good
in,
Lord. I got a whole list of stuff for data centers. Well, let's bring Debbie on. Let's see what she's got to say.
Hello, and I'm glad you have, because I really want this discussion to go and just hit everybody in the face all over the United States, because they need to know it. Okay.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, ma'am. My little schmill is quick and easy. We in Alabama had a chance in the 80s to have a law that would state a sign everywhere there was polluted water, okay? Well, they said no, they weren't going to do it. Now, get this. Back in that time, the federal level for pollution, by the time you hit that, it had been polluted for a while. So they weren't even really being fair about what's actually polluted. And they couldn't even post a sign for that. So, our waters are pretty bad. Let's face it, with the carpet mills, paper mills on our rivers, the fish are full of mercury. We know this already.
Mm-hmm.
We have a problem in this state with our water. California's even worse. All over the United States, we have issues with water. Over in Alex City, they had drought so bad that my brother-in-law had to move out because they couldn't get water in their home.
Oh.
Why? It was coming out of Lake Martin. Lake Martin has their hose or conduit that is in that lake. When that level goes below it, they have no water.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So get that in mind. That's before they start putting these data centers in. Data centers take up so much water. And when they're done with that water, it is toxic.
Right.
Now, where are they putting that water? Are they just going to put it right back in the lakes like they do with the carpet mills and the paper mills? Are we even going to be able to have water in our homes anymore? It's going to just deplete our water supply. And if it doesn't, we're going to have such bad water that we can't even bathe in it. So what are we doing? Okay, I'm going to let you vent.
The reason I went on War Room Georgia, and I'm a person from Alabama, is because we've been in water wars with Georgia for decades because there's not enough water in that area, and they're building data centers all up and down the rivers that are coming between Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia. They say the water is going to be in a closed system where they pump the water out and run it through their system, and they're not going to pump it back in. But everything that I am reading and everything that I am seeing, with the construction of these humongous, and that's the best word I can think of, centers, is just the construction is polluting the water. Our water is turning reddish brown. I saw a video the other day from some guys in the hills of Tennessee who were complaining about their water being poisoned because they're doing the mining to try to get the minerals and things that they need for these data centers. And this is actual arsenic poisoning, and it is running off into our water supplies. So I don't know.
So let me ask you this.
Okay.
What is more important? So, and I know Trump's got a hard road, and he's got to make sure that we have some kind of income coming into the United States. We've got to be, able to produce and not just consume. I understand all that, and that's a good thing. And I know he's making deals, and that's his job. I get that too. But you don't sit there and do something that you know is going to absolutely decimate your country and think that you're doing good by bringing that cash in. What good is cash if you don't have water to survive? That makes no sense.
Debbie,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Debbie, we have 1 minute, but I'm gonna. Did you know that water is now being traded on the stock market? That's how bad.
Really?
Yeah, that's how bad it has gotten. Data centers don't produce anything except heat and smoke, and just like Charles I said yesterday, his patents will stop some of this stuff, but they're still his. Nobody's using them. I don't know what we're going to do because Trump signed an executive order. If the local and the county and the states decide they don't want these data centers, it becomes a military operation. And I actually have a copy of the executive order sitting right over here next to me, because so many people have now started pushing back. Texas, Ohio, of course, the people in Alabama are pushing against the data centers, but our legislature and our elected officials they want these data centers. They want these solar farms, and the solar farms are worse than the data centers as far as poisoning. And the one they're going to build in the Tennessee Delta, that's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, okay, we got to go to a break, and I'm going to hold you over, Debbie, because I want to talk about this when we get back. This is Ann, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Welcome back to the program. We were talking to Debbie about these data centers being built and destroying our water supplies for regular people in the name of storing AI data information that is being collected through the surveillance state. And I don't know any better way to say it. But Debbie, are you still there?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, I
good,
am.
Good. So on July the 23rd, 2025, President Trump signed the executive order 14318 titled Accelerating Federal Permitting of Data Center Infrastructure. And this executive order classifies AI data centers as military operations, stripping communities of their ability to put up roadblocks while claiming the data centers are necessary for purposes of national security. 65% of Americans oppose building these things because they just don't understand how bad they are. And I have a list. I mean, it's just ridiculous of what these data centers do to us, our land, our water supply. So I'm going to read a couple of them, and Debbie, you can hang on if you want to, or you can hang up if you don't want to stay on that long. If you live at the fence line of a data center, you have constant noise, low frequency cellular breakdown, loss of property value, the use of end of days technology, total oppression in the local area. The data centers will control what goes on around you. Ground vibration from natural gas turbines, if that's what they're using. Here's the big one: aquifer depletion. They are pulling the water out of the ground from our aquifers that store water. You know, you can have rivers, you can have streams, you can have all sorts of stuff, but when our aquifers go dry, like they did in Florida during the drought, you don't have a backup water supply. And that's what's happening. Light pollution, groundwater management issues for neighbors. The groundwater that you're used to having, ponds, anything that you have for your livestock is going to be depleted, especially since we're in a drought. We've been in a drought for a couple of years. These data centers are not going to help us keep water. They're going to deplete our water supply. Higher electricity bills, and I don't care what they say. At some point, the electricity bill will impact the normal citizen with all of these data centers. I mean, there are thousands all over the country because they have massive energy consumption. Water rationing will begin to happen. And in fact, in some places, it's already happening, just like she said. In Lake Martin, which is supposedly the cleanest water in the state in a lake, is now having impact from no water. Increased cases of asthma, electronic waste of hazardous materials and disposal, especially during construction, vast land use changes. They're taking all of our farmlands to build these things. We had a case, I was talking to a group last night, that a lady gave up $23 million because she refused to sell her land for a data center. How many of us have that kind of guts that somebody comes up and said, I want to buy your property, I want to buy your land, and here's $23 million in cash. What would you do? She did not sell. I'm not. I'm not going to answer for myself. I would hope that I would say no, but $23 million. That's a vast fortune for anybody. I don't care who you are. Destroying wildlife habitats. Everybody complain. The tree huggers complain. Well, we can't kill off the salamander. Well, there's going to be a whole heck of a lot of salamanders killed. Bald eagles.
Deer. What about the deer hunters?
Yeah,
That's
the
big
deer.
business here too.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to take all that land that the deer are on.
Yeah.
And it's going to destroy human habitats. You can't live close to one of these places without having problems. You think there's going to be jobs. There will be construction jobs. But afterwards, these machines basically run on their own.
What are we going to have left, though, afterwards? I mean, seriously, you seen the red tide. Well, that came from something very small. That came from one of those factories that do, different types of, mainly fertilizer, but there's other things that cause it. And it goes out into the Gulf, kind of slithers around the peninsula of Florida, and it causes red tide, from what I understand. That's one of them. And another, well, it may not be the red tide because that's an algae, but it creates issues in the Gulf. I do know that.
Right.
And I lived in Florida, and I know that it damages the ecology of that area. So that's something real small. That's only a little factory. Can you imagine AIs and what they can do to us?
Oh, yeah.
By the time they're finished, it'll be too late. What are we going to do? How are we going to clean up the mess? Is there a way of cleaning up the mess? I've always wondered about that with nuclear, the nuclear waste that we have off of those devices, big, huge stacks. What are we going to do with that? They take 10,000 years before they disappear.
Right.
How are we going to manage that when we don't have the water to keep them cool? This is a ball that's going to blow up the whole world. And I know I sound dramatic, but is it really dramatic when you think about it? If a scientist were sitting down at their little table and they were to sit there and put A, B, C, and D together, what do you think they're actually going to come up with? It's not that hard to figure out. This is common sense. Water is life,
right.
Period. Without water, we'll be like Mars. We'll be a dust ball. There will be nothing that lives, period. So if you don't protect your most basic asset, the most valuable asset of all things, you cannot expect to come out of it smelling like a rose, because there will be none.
I totally agree. I don't know how we.
That's my problem.
Yeah, I don't know how we stop them.
I don't either.
But somebody's got to make the case that the surveillance that we're getting to store and the data centers that will store the data can be the destruction of
Well, you know what China's
us.
doing? China's putting theirs in the ocean. Now, I don't see how that's going to be any better. That's going to create problems too.
Yeah.
But I guess they're taking it out of their land,
Yeah.
and putting it in the ocean, thinking it's going to be a better outcome.
Well, the waves supposedly develop
We'll wash it all over everything.
energy. Well, Debbie, I don't know, but Sky's telling me I got to take another break. But the list goes on and on and on and on, and I don't know of anything good about these things, and we the people have got to stand up and say no.
Watch the movie The Terminator a couple of times and get an idea of what our world will look like.
Absolutely.
And I know that's really wild, but that was nothing but machinery. You didn't see a tree one.
Absolutely. Great call. Thank you, Debbie. Sky, I gotta go. So we'll be right back in a minute. Well, welcome back to the program. I know we were talking about the data centers and the water and how we can stop these data centers, how we can stop the AI, how we can stop the surveillance, Skynet, biometrics, how we can stop the total takeover of our automobiles. And they moved it from 26 to 27. I think if we continue, how we can stop the destruction of our water sources, pollution of our air with the cloud seeding, the aluminum, whatever's being dropped on where we can't grow crops anymore because they're going to grow everything in the laboratory. I mean, I could just go down the line. It's mind-boggling what they are attempting to do to the people. That's why it is so, so, so important that you know who you are voting for. And next Wednesday will be the day that I can talk about who is running in the state of Alabama because the primary is May 19th.
It's coming right up. It's quick.
And even though the legislature, and I had to explain this last night, so I'll explain it before I go on forward with what I was talking about. The legislature is, the May 19th primary will go forward as is because the Supreme Court still hasn't released Alabama from the mandate of which map to use. So, but the legislature is passing bills that will go back to our original map, which will affect District 1 and 2, which is South Alabama, Montgomery South, and 6 and 7, which is Birmingham, Shelby County, Jefferson County, a little bit of St. Clair County. That will be impacted. District 6 and 7 and 1 and 2. And then there's 2 state Senate districts, 25 and 26, that will be impacted. And it will be done in a special election once the Supreme Court releases us. So keep that in mind. But what?
District 25 and 26 Senate, that's Montgomery.
That's state, yes. State
Montgomery
Senate.
County, state
Yes,
Senate.
State Senate.
Okay. What's going to be the impact there, you suppose?
They will be redrawn, and I know one of the candidates said that he was going to go back to the district he was originally from.
I see.
Because he was districted out into the new district, but he's going back to so they will have to have a special election.
Okay.
So, and I may have...
Now, with the congressional... Okay, I don't want to get you off the...
That's okay. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
As far as the other side, the congressional
yes.
aspect, what's it going to come down to? How many seats are going to be exchanged? Just one, right?
One definitely.
Okay.
2 possibly. If they draw the map, if they decide to draw a new map, which I don't think they're going to do.
No.
But if they go back to the original, Terry Sewell has been in 7 for many years. But the last election, she had an opponent who got almost 40%. So, I mean, it's possible. It's not probable, but it's possible.
I thought she was entrenched, no matter how they draw the maps, that Terry Sewell is going to stick around.
Well, I talked about it on this program before when I used to live in Lake Cyrus. She lived across the street from me. Mm-hmm. They took all of most of southwest counties, came up 65 and 459 and with a little finger and took in like 3 streets in Lake Cyrus so that she could live in her district. And I happened...
Some fancy districting right there.
Yeah, and I happened to be lucky enough to live close enough to her to where they put me in 7. So then we moved to Bluff Park when Jimmy got sick. So in with my daughter who lives in Bluff Park, and we were in 6. The new district put us in 7. So if they go back to the old way, I'll be back in 6.
You sure get around without going anywhere.
I do.
Wow.
So it's kind of a personal thing to me. I don't like
Yes.
I don't like having no representation in Congress because in 7 I don't have representation in Congress. So I wanted to let everybody know that that's what would happen. So if you vote absentee in the May 19th primary and they have a special election, you will again, and you are impacted either 1, 2 congressional, 6, 7 congressional, or 25 and 26, you will again have to vote absentee. So I had some older people there last night that I had to explain that to.
Right. So absentee ballots must be mailed by the 12th, I believe.
They
That's
have to be in
Tuesday.
by the 18th. So
The 18th have to be received.
they have
by
to be received in the office by the 18th.
Okay, and the election is a week. Primary is a week from Tuesday.
Yes.
Man. Okay.
Yes. So I'll be here Wednesday to talk about it and tell you who's running and who's not. And I'm not going to give. I'm not going to give you my opinion unless somebody asks me. Unless Scott asks me.
I'll ask. No, what do you think the turnout will be, Ann, on a state level? How about that? That's a question that won't get you in much trouble.
In this primary, I think the turnout's going to be higher than what it has been in the past because there's been so much publicity and discussion and aggravation, and people down in Montgomery not rioting but protesting.
They're causing a little chaos down there.
Yeah, causing a little bit of chaos, but it didn't seem to stop anybody. So, and the rain got rid of them one day.
Yeah, they had a real circus going on down there.
When the floods came in, they all went out.
Well, they had tornado warnings going on.
It was a tough day.
Yeah, they earned their money almost that day.
So,
did you see the video?
I did.
It's hilarious. You gotta watch that. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, it was
4 stars.
Fun. Yeah, 4 stars. So, but I talked.
Guess what time it is?
Guess what time it is? Okay, we're going to a break. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're back from break. I think I missed that one by about a half a second. What do you think, Sky?
Who's counting?
Who's counting?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
In fact, I just sent Scott a message. I didn't think I messed up anything today, but I'm holding my breath because we still have a couple of minutes.
A little time
just
left.
a little bit time left. So
Well, we didn't start out the show with the helium voice.
that's true.
When I was a little girl, Grover Cleveland was president. That was great.
Last night, I had 2 people walk up to me and say, "What happened?" I'm like, somebody pressed that button, and I didn't know which button to unpress. So I had to call Scott and say, "What did you do?"
Oh, yeah, I told that story a few times.
He swore he didn't do it.
I believe him. I don't think he's that kind of person. I could have him all wrong.
Well, I could tell there had been somebody in here after I left because I turned everything off, and when I came in this morning, it was on. So I don't know if there's somebody who comes into the studio after me.
Well, a good question to ask Scott when you get a chance is, does that button often become? Somebody may come in there and playing with it, thinking it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So it could
True.
be as simple as that.
Oh, okay, whatever.
We'll solve
I
that
didn't
mystery
think it
yet,
was-
Scooby.
I didn't think it was.
Oh, it's funny now. It was. I didn't think it was funny either, Ann. Believe me.
I was like, oh my gosh, what did
You know,
I do?
You know that phrase, we'll look back and laugh at this
Yeah,
one?
we will. It was funny. First day ever to run the whole, all these cameras and this board and lights and,
Yeah, that
It
was
was-
not funny at
No,
first.
it was tough. It was tough. So, okay, so I was talking about being careful who you're going to vote for, and
Right.
the reason I think you and I hear it all the time. Well, this is Alabama. This can't happen in Alabama. Well, yeah, it can because we have a bill now putting us under surveillance cameras as we drive down the highway. We have camera drones surveilling us. We have flock cameras everywhere. Just go out there and look. There's a website that will show you where the flock cameras are in your neighborhoods or in your town. Or
Why do they call them flock?
that's the name of the company.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's as simple as that.
And I tried to find out why they named them flock. Obviously, there's a common sense
There's
answer
something to be there.
because if you put them all together like a flock, you are all seeing. Everything that goes on can be viewed on a video as a video on a computer because the cameras are operating constantly. So that's in Alabama because Flock is a private corporation. And they've actually gone around asking people who have Ring cameras if they can tap into their network so that they can have a full range of what moves in your neighborhood.
Wait,
Oh, yes.
really?
Yes.
Oh, I want to sign up for that.
Oh, yeah.
Big brother.
I think we all need to sign up for that.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
So our legislature...
That kind of implies dubious intent when you start wanting the Ring cameras as well.
Well, they call
What do they-
it.
what do they
It's for
want with
your.
that?
It's for your
Oh, I
safety.
know. It's always for your safety
It's
or for
your
the children.
safety and for your
Yeah.
children, so nobody can
Sure.
snatch. We'll know exactly when your kid gets snatched and who snatched it in what car because we have the biometrics of the person driving. We have the car tag. We have the car color. I mean, they have everything. And our legislature passed what they called a temporary program to see how it works. Yeah,
Well,
right.
I've heard about that. Government programs, temporary.
Yeah.
I think Reagan said the closest thing to immortality
Is a
is a
government,
government program.
Yes, he did. So then we worry about the water. In Alabama, they've built data centers sitting next to our rivers. They built the solar farms is sitting next to the Styx River in the Tennessee Delta. I mean, what are they thinking? Why can't our legislature stop that? They haven't. They've allowed it. So, yes, that's happening in Alabama. So you need to be careful who you elect down in South Alabama. And I don't know how many people from South Alabama are listening, but I know y'all are fighting hard to get that stopped. But it is private property, and the person.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have a right to sell your property.
That's right.
So what would you suggest?
Well,
some
it's
type
going to
of
have to be
restrictions, or
considered an environmental.
go at it from that angle.
Yeah,
Okay.
have to be.
I see.
So AI data. Oh, our legislature and our governor and our corporatocracy is all over these data centers. They want the money. Well, they keep saying jobs. Well, once the construction jobs are done, those buildings basically run themselves. So what jobs are you talking about?
Yeah, that'll go away quick.
Yeah.
Once it's built.
So you need to ask your legislator before you vote for them, what do you think about these data centers? And see what they say. Oh, it's an economic boom. Yeah, right.
For whom?
Yeah, for whom? The car controls, that's federal. That's federal. But the car's the first step. Yeah, have you seen the tornado video? The one where the elderly lady and the guy are out on the farm and they see a tornado come and they jump in the truck and the truck won't start and the computer keeps saying, obviously you're upset. You need to breathe deeply before we can release your ignition to start. And the guy's yelling, there's a tornado coming. We have to leave. Well, hey, that can happen. In fact, I watched a video the other day where a lady said she got in the car or she was actually driving and the car started slowing down to stop and she kept pressing the gas and it wouldn't go. And when it finally stopped, the computer said, we cannot see your eyes. So they're using the visual of the eyes, and that's what it says in this program of how they do it. They watch your eyes, and if they can't see your eyes, they're going to cut your car off. So they said it was going to be 26, but now they've moved it to 27. There's a bill in the legislature that in the Congress to repeal it. And I think everybody out there listening needs to call their representative, their senator, and anybody else in Congress. Just flood the switchboard with saying, we want that repealed.
Any idea who sponsored this bill originally?
Oh, it's for the safety.
Or who wrote it?
It came from the MAD, the drunk driving people.
The Mothers Against Drunk Drivers.
Yeah, that's the whole premise in it is if you're drunk and you get in a car, it won't start.
I see. Okay, well, sometimes I get kidney stones. And no, I do.
Oh,
and,
my husband has kidney stones.
I've been in a very serious situation before where I was all alone.
Right.
And in complete agony.
Yes.
You know, I don't just run off the emergency room. I've learned to judge these. I'm in really, really bad shape. And I doubt what I've read about these kill switches if I would be permitted to drive my automobile to the emergency room in that condition.
Exactly.
So
I understand.
There's your safety.
There. So then when we talk,
or suppose you cut yourself.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, there's all kind of good intentions.
Yeah.
That's paved to, you know.
Well, yes, I do.
Right.
So, and then we talk about, of course, the Skynet. And Skynet is now replacing all of the copper in the ground. And I think I talked about this a little bit yesterday. If I didn't, it was not last night, and I'm getting my dates mixed up, with fiber optics, which, you know, can be given a higher 5G or 6G. But the copper in the ground controls the way the electronic waves are put out and keep it normalized where fiber optics exposes us to more. So that's happening here in Alabama. Of course, that's private property too. So we'll be back in a minute, and I'll try to finish why you need to worry about who you vote for. Welcome back. We're almost to the end, and I see I have Wong Jong on the phone.
From Hong Kong, I understand.
Oh, is it Wong Kong?
No, it's Wong Jong
is it
from
Wong?
Hong Kong.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
let's see how Hong Kong's hanging out these days.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
This is Wong Jong from Hurtahatchee. I live at Hurtahatchee since you put up me.
Well, that's close to Hong
Remember,
Kong.
I was Popo. Anyway, every day at Main Street on big speaker, we play Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and we started at the drive-thru showing YouTube of Scott Beason. It has been too much Eubank this week. Too much.
I agree.
And I had to cut the speakers off and turn off the drive-thru. Now, we have no flock over here because legislature secretly meets for all their plans, so they keep flock out of Hurtahatchee. And they're building big data center by our First Congregational Non-Denominational Church of the Commons campground. Very bad. But you want the acronym for what it's been like having you on the radio, Eubank?
Yeah, go for it.
Airwaves locked into evil Nephilim subjects. Aliens all over the place. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
It's Wong Jong.
And I definitely agree with him. There's been too much of me this week. I've had, really, honest. I'm like, okay, this is the reason I don't do an all-week radio show. It's just too hard. I don't know how he does it. Okay.
Oh, I do. I finally figured it out.
Did you?
Yeah, it turns out he never stops talking.
Okay.
It's his gift. He can go and go. See, I don't want to talk for that long. I like to talk a little bit, then I like to listen a little bit. But Scott can just go on and on.
That's a politician in him.
It's incredible when you think about it.
Yeah, that's that politician.
I guarantee you, wherever he's at right now, he's talking.
He's talking to somebody.
Yeah.
Bless his heart.
And I'm not trying to be.
No. We love him. We love him.
Right, but some people
his
can do
gift.
that, but it's not many. Try it.
I can do it one or two, but after a while, I'm like, I got to go find a closet just to sit down and not listen or say anything or hear anything. And
A lot of people think they can do this job.
Ooh, it's hard.
And understand that, let's just say people that would do, like, say an audition, they would give you a subject, say, okay, give me 5 or 10 minutes on this subject.
Yeah.
And then hit that red light and let them go. And it's not, try it sometime. Try it at home. Play our home game.
Yeah.
Give it a shot and see how you do.
Well,
and you can even pick your own topic.
Yeah, I've gotten used to it because I can talk 5 or 10 minutes on any subject.
Yes.
Because I do so much research but it's tough. It's tough to do every day because I'm not that kind of talker.
Well, some people are preparers, over preparers.
Yeah.
In the business, and that's where I fall in. When I've done shows, they weren't political talk shows, but and I would always wind up with I would use about 40% of the material I prepared.
Exactly.
And I got all this left over.
I have all of my stuff. I know you. I got it all right here.
Yeah. How much did you use today, Ann? Really, realistically.
Well, because it was just kind of a free-for-all, I didn't get probably 40%.
Now, see, there you go. That's the magic number.
Yeah, I just didn't know who was going to be asking what question, because I knew I was just going to let it all. Y'all just tell me what you want, but
Friday is the best day.
Yeah, Friday is the best day.
Free for all.
So I bought a new water filter, and it's not here yet. Because, I know what's coming. If they start building all these data centers, it is going to mess up our aquifer. So you're going to have to filter your water or drink bottled water or, because you have no idea what's in your tap water if Bill Gates decides to put stuff in it for you. So I went out and bought a water filter. There's something wrong with me.
Oh, no. After... Well, 3 hours today and all the things that you mentioned, the viruses and the Project Blue Book and the cars that, won't let me drive them and all this. I'm just going to go home and get in the closet and kind of curl up in a fetal position
Well,
for
you
an hour
know,
or two.
I tell people if you knew what I know and what I see and what I research and what people tell me, you wouldn't sleep at night. Funny thing is, I have no problem sleeping at night. I don't.
I guess you get it all out.
I just do. I just do.
By spreading the word to others, perhaps.
That's what I have been tasked to do with. That is my mission, to let people know out there all the crazy stuff that they think is do. It's not. It's here. It's real.
Well, you convinced me this week.
Okay.
That's for sure.
So I'll be back next Wednesday. Hopefully Scott will make it home and be here Monday, because I just don't know if I can do it again.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ann.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
Love it. I'll be back when I be back.